Chapter 141. Photo Album. Ava stirred the coffee in her cup, tilting her head to gaze absently at the gray, overcast sky outside. "Ava, what are you spacing out about?" Jujun tapped Ava's shoulder and sat down across from her. Ava withdrew her gaze and smiled. "Finished talking with the lawyer?" Because Luke refused to agree to a divorce, Jujun had no choice but to hire a lawyer and prepare to file for divorce directly. "All done." Jujun pressed her lips together. Filing for divorce might take a very long time, but there was no other option right now. Luke was using their daughter to threaten her not to divorce. If it were any other issue, she would definitely compromise. But cheating, she couldn't turn a blind eye to that. She was worried about her daughter. She just wanted to get the divorce over with as soon as possible. "Why do you look so preoccupied?" Jujun asked with concern. Ava shook her head. "There's just something I can't figure out." She naturally hadn't asked Adrian about the photo, but lately she kept thinking about it. It was just a photo. She didn't understand what she was so concerned about. "Your husband?" Jujun probed. Ava smiled. "Do you remember our first stage performance?" Of course, Jujun remembered, though Ava's topic jump was quite abrupt. Suddenly, Jujun's brow furrowed. "Ava, I just remembered where I saw your husband before." At our first performance, I left my phone at home. Remember? Luke brought it to me." Jujun's tone faltered when she mentioned Luke's name. She suppressed the stiffness on her face and continued. "When I came back with my phone, I saw someone holding flowers. He left them at our dressing room door and left." At the time, Jujun had thought it was a fan of someone in their dance company. After all, some people in their company were already somewhat famous then. Ava paused slightly. "What kind of flowers?" Jujun thought for a moment, then gave her answer. "Bellflowers." Because Adrian had such striking looks, she'd remembered him, though over the years his face had gradually blurred in her memory. That's why when she saw Adrian last time, he'd only seemed familiar. Today, when Ava mentioned that performance from years ago, it all came back. Ava choked on the coffee she'd just swallowed. She grabbed 2 tissues to cover her lips and coughed a few times, her face flushing slightly. Adrian had actually gone to watch her performance. She'd had a boyfriend then. Based on the timing, it should have been when she was dating her 3rd boyfriend. Her boyfriend at the time had been there that day, and they'd left together after the performance. Adrian had known all along she had a boyfriend abroad. When she told Adrian she didn't have a boyfriend abroad, he hadn't exposed her lie. Was he just watching to see how she'd perform? Ava internally screamed for help. She'd been caught. Ava suddenly seemed to remember something and shot to her feet. "I just remembered I have something to do. I'm leaving first." Jujun watched Ava's hurried departure, somewhat confused. Was she going to find Adrian? If she remembered correctly, Ava and Adrian had been broken up for a long time back then. She'd never even heard Ava mention Adrian's name before. Ava stood by the roadside waiting for the driver to pick her up. If she'd known she'd be going home this quickly, she wouldn't have sent the driver away. A black Maybach stopped beside her. Ava put away her phone and slowly looked up. The window rolled down, revealing Ian's face. "Ava, where are you going?" "No need." Ava had just opened her mouth when suddenly a petulant voice came from the back seat. "It's not on the way. I need to go back to school." Though the voice wasn't very familiar, Ava immediately recognized who it was. It was Yvonne's friend's sister. She'd recently heard about Charlotte chasing after Ian. Ava originally didn't want to get in the car, but faced with such an unfriendly attitude, she absolutely had to take this ride today. "Ian, I need to go home. Is that inconvenient?" Ava bent down slightly, smiling sweetly at Ian, her voice soft and sweet. The breeze blew past, her long hair dancing in the air, adding a touch of delicate beauty to her pure face. "It's not inconvenient. Get in." Ian unbuckled his seatbelt and leaned over to open the passenger door. As he straightened, he shot a cold glance at Charlotte in the back seat. Charlotte looked at Yvonne with grievance. Yvonne just felt a headache coming on. Her awful brother only stopped being emotionally dense around Ava. With other girls, he acted like some arrogant prince. Even if she wanted to matchmake, with her brother acting like this, who knew when he'd give up on Ava? After getting in the car, Ava noticed Yvonne was also there. She greeted Yvonne with a smile, then gently greeted Charlotte as well. Charlotte huffed and turned her head away, not wanting to acknowledge Ava. She'd already learned about Ian and Ava's history from Ian's friends. After rejecting his proposal and dumping him, she was now acting like nothing had happened. And Ava was married, a married woman getting a ride from her ex-boyfriend. If that wasn't being a manipulative T-girl, what was? She hated T-girls the most. Charlotte, is this how the Hayes family teaches manners? If you're going to be this rude, get out of my car. Ian glanced at Charlotte in the rearview mirror. Charlotte felt completely wronged. Why was he so unreasonable? Yvonne sighed helplessly and tugged at Charlotte's sleeve. When her brother lost his temper, he didn't care about anyone. If Charlotte didn't apologize, he really might kick her out of his car. Charlotte reluctantly apologized to Ava, then turned to the window with red eyes. It's fine. You don't need to apologize specifically. You're still young. I won't take what you said to heart, Ava said with a smile. She turned and chided Ian with a glance. Didn't I tell you not to be so harsh with girls? You should be more gentlemanly. Ava, you're just too kind-hearted. Ian started the car, the corners of his eyes lifting. Watching Ava's gentle expression from the corner of his eye, his smile deepened. Charlotte's teeth itched with frustration. Damn T-girl, she was so angry. Yvonne mentally gave a thumbs up. Why weren't her exes this obedient? After breaking up, they acted like enemies. Perhaps, maybe, probably because she'd been too harsh when breaking up. She'd only beaten him badly enough to send him to the hospital. As long as his life wasn't in danger, that shouldn't count as harsh, right? Entering the villa, Ava headed straight for the upstairs bedroom. She walked around the foot of the bed and stopped in front of the nightstand, bending down to open the drawer containing that photo album. Looking at the album lying in the drawer, she hesitated for a long time. Finally, she picked it up. She flipped to the photos she hadn't looked at last time. The moment she saw them, her eyes widened. She flipped through several in succession. They were all of her. In class, dancing, having meals with friends, Adrian had been secretly photographing her. "What are you looking at?" Adrian's voice came from behind her. Ava turned at the sound and the album slipped from her hands, landing on her foot.